Good morning. Happy Friday. Welcome to the Wake Up Flow. Made it through another week. Today we're going to go through a set that is similar to what we did on Wednesday. We looked at the 8 brocades, very traditional set on Wednesday. There are countless variations of the 8 brocades. Same basic set, but in different traditions. The moves have somewhat different names. They're performed a little bit differently. Some sets are more challenging than others. We did a fairly simple set on Wednesday, and today we're going to review the forms because this one takes longer to execute from the Shaolin tradition. What's good about this particular set, this particular tradition, is we often, in our longer sets, will go from a flow to static postures, and we'll do the postures separately from the flow. And in this set, the forms themselves have pauses built in, where we'll start the form, we'll get into the form. I'll give you an example, like drawing the bow. So when we're in this position, and then we'll just hold there and breathe for a little bit. So that's a little bit different about this set. We probably won't get through all 8 because they do take, this is probably about a 40-minute set if you're doing them slowly and methodically and taking several breaths in the forms that use holds. But let's begin as we always do with a little bit of warm-up. So put your feet about shoulder width apart, knees nice and soft. Upper torso should be erect. Think of your neck as being long and pulling your spine up. You could almost think of a string pulling up the crown of your head to lengthen the neck. That'll automatically and lengthen the spine. And then let's just begin to turn from side to side, letting the arms swing free as we begin. And we'll get a little bit of rhythm going here. Get the body temp up just a little bit. It's a tad chilly down in the studio this morning. It's like about 63 degrees. It usually floats around 65, 66 down here, which is very comfy. I'll get the body temp up just a bit to get a little fluid moving in the joints. And let's take the hands into loose fists and begin tapping. Tapping on the lower belly and lower back. A little wake up of our energy center. Call this movement knocking on the door of life. Tapping is used throughout many Qigong traditions, and tapping itself is becoming a distinct discipline. You may have heard of EFT. There are various forms of meridian tapping and meridian massage, organ massage. Sometimes done with just the hands. There's a little scraping tool, and that's called gaosha. let's take the hand up the body. Front hand begins tapping in that little valley where the chest meets the shoulder. A little hollow space there. This point is at the end of the lung meridian, and we tap on this to promote immunity. And let's come back down to the belly, and let's put a little bit of focus on the breathing. Take the breath in through the nose if you're able. Out breath through either the mouth or the nose. Most often in any kind of exercise, even very gentle exercise like Tai Chi and Qigong, we're breathing out through the mouth. But if you can, very in through the nose. I think I called this out earlier this week, but if you're interested in the topic of breathing, as we talk so much about it, so there must be something to it. There's a book by author, his name is James Nestor, Nestor, and the book is simply called Breath. And a fascinating look. He and a colleague themselves through a series of basically experiments. They made themselves lab rats. Came up with some very interesting data. I always find it fascinating to be able to run across studies that validate things done for thousands of years. And in many cases, they're very simple, and we've cast them aside thinking they're too simple, when reality is there's very solid evidence to back why they've been used for so long. Let's float the hands off the body and turn that tap into a bit of a reach. And you can let it be long enough, that reach be far enough that it will pull your trailing heel up off the floor. And we'll take a couple of the forms today that have the holds in them so you can see the difference between what we did on Wednesday and the set that we'll do today. That member flow today is at 11 a.m. and this one's in person as well as on Zoom. We're doing our Wednesday and Friday session at Pulse for Health in the little plaza next to Five Corners, next to the Quick Trip in Cedarburg. And let's slow this down. A little background. My 3 recently adopted kittens are up and active. Now let's connect to the breath. Let's use some silk reeling today. So take one palm out. Breathe in as you draw it. Let it spiral in the back. The back of the hand floats forward as we breathe out. Breathing in and breathing. This is a very simple looking thing to do, but for a lot of people, this turns out to be the hardest part of all. Slowing down enough to let the body follow the breath. Let the cadence of your breath drive the speed of your movement, not the other way around, which is what we tend to slip into. So breathing in, breathing out. Do one more on this side, get the other side ready. And then change over, breathing in, breathing out. And let's finish with both hands together. Breathing in and breathing out. Spiral in the front, withdraw, breathe in. Spiral in the back, sweep forward, breathe out. I'm sweeping forward. And then just let the hands float down, returning us to the starting position we call Wuchi, relaxed readiness. First movement, palms pressing up to the heavens. So let's start with our arms out, palms turned up wider than the hips. Breathing in, lift. We get to the shoulders, turn the hands over. Breathe out, press overhead, and hold there. We're holding the posture, not the breath. Continue to breathe. Just hold here for several breaths. We're going to release on an exhale. So let's take one more deep inhale. And then exhale. Let's release everything back down. Let's do that one more time. Breathing in. Turning the hands over. Breathing out as we press overhead, but then we hold there and continue to breathe. And it doesn't hurt your neck at all. You can look up and look between your hands. Ready for neck here, so think of extending your neck, not pinching it. And then on an exhale, releasing on down. Next movement, drawing the bow. So hands begin crossed, hovering in front of the body. And we toe heel out to just a little bit wider stance. Take a breath in. And on the breath out, extend one hand as an aiming point while the other one grabs the bowstring, pulls, and now stay right here. Gazing over that aiming point, breathing deeply. This one's got a side to side, so we need to transition to the other side. So on an inhale, unfold the string hand, hands sweep back up into that hovering cross. Going the other side, breathe out, sink the body down just a bit as you draw the bow. So a little bit of tension in the upper legs, tension arms, tension in the hand, gazing out over that aiming point, breathing deeply. Let's do one more on each side. So transitioning, breathe in the transition, flow right through it, breathe out, draw the bow, hold the pose, and breathe. transition. Inhaling through the transition. Exhaling, drawing the bow, sinking down. Body tensed but relaxed. Your torso should be erect. Vertical line. First connect the heels, then draw a vertical line from that midpoint up the spine, through the top of the head. Should be one vertical line. And to release, breathe in. And as you breathe out, let's toe heel back in to neutral. Let's do one more. This one's a little bit different. So we did the punching fists on Wednesday. Breathe in, hands come up, form loose fists, and draw back into the waist. Breathe out, punch one fist forward. Breathe in, open the hand, turn the thumb down. Breathe out, spiral that hand, close the fist, pinky first, holding into the thumb. Inhale, draw the fist. Other side. Exhale, punch. Inhale, open the hand, palm turns out, thumb turns down. Inhale, spiral the hand and close the fist. Draw back in. One more on each side. Last one. Then exhale, release. And let's close, rising overhead. Turn the palms to the floor. Press the palms. One more time. At the bottom, hands separate. Toss one away, let it float overhead. And hovering just in front of the body, trace down the midline. Let's do that. Breathing in. And breathing out. As the hands come back together, place them hand over the lower belly. Step the feet in just a little bit. Close your eyes, and we finish with 3 deep breaths. Make that third breath a nice deep one. And as you release that breath, release the hands, open the eyes, give everything a little shake out. And thanks for joining me this morning. Have a wonderful Friday and a great weekend. Namaste.